Well, we'll get after practice today a little bit. Got New Mexico State coming in here tomorrow or Wednesday. Keep forgetting the days. Wednesday, so we got 2 more days to prepare. Guys will practice. They had yesterday off, so it is what it is. New Mexico State game's always tough. It'll be, great crowd. But our biggest thing is we're just going to continue to try to get better. We got some things we got to work on. We're gonna spend some time working on some little things defensively and offensively to help us, and then we're gonna have to rebound the ball. And they got probably one of the best big kids in the country, and he's playing really well. So we'll just have to come out and try to get better. So we got two games this week, and to try to go undefeated at home in non-conference season. So that's a goal for our guys. So hopefully we'll get that done.
Offensively, you guys have been battling the boards the last couple games. Is that something else you can exploit against them this time? Or?
I just think the biggest thing is we just have to rebound. I don't know if it's offensively or defensively because they're a really good offensive rebounding team. He's a load in there when they play Bular, and they've got the other big kid back, so that helps them. But we just have to rebound. It's just going to be, if it's physical, it'll be, both ends will be tough, but hopefully we'll be able to do. I think the biggest thing is if we can get Sam and X, and if Dane plays, if we can get those guys to get some rebounds, which Sam's been able to do lately or the last game, then that'll help. But we're going to have to rebound the ball. If you can't, you got to keep them off the offensive glass with their shooting percentage from the perimeter. So if you can keep them off the offensive glass and second chance points, you got a pretty good chance.
You guys did with several teams, obviously, you said that the three-point percentage that they had in that first game, they were, Marvin was even kind of mystified afterwards that they took so many threes. Something that you guys do with New Mexico State that just kind of leaves it, forces them to take threes because they can't get it inside, or is that just
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to make them make shots, and you can't let him get point blank shots from the paint, and you have to make them make jump shots. And I think we've been really good at being able to close out with our length and getting the guys other than we have in other years. So I think we're better at it. But we'll make them shoot jump shots. They're going to have to beat us with jump shots.
I know that was after the game, the comment he made was he looked at the stat sheet and it almost was like the first time he was seeing it, didn't realize they'd been taking that many threes. Were you surprised? I know it was the intention, but were you surprised that they took so many 3-pointers?
Well, I think you get to, as a player, you get to the point where they're so open that you think you got to shoot them. So there's a reason why you're open sometimes. So we'll go in with the same game plan. We're going to tweak a few things, but we're just going to try to get better as a group. I think our defense is coming in its own now. We got a long way to go, but we've shown signs of improvement considering we didn't know what this team was going to be defensively.
It's safe to say that you expect them to try and get, especially Pascal, the big man, you expect them to try and go inside a little bit more than they did, especially in the first half of that game, or you don't know what to expect?
I think they're doing that more, so I think that's their game plan. I think they're going to try to pound it inside. I think they try to play inside out. I'm sure they'll try to get some transition, but I really don't know what to expect because they've had some tough games. They got some tough games coming up. I mean, they got a heck of a schedule, and I think they got a good team. So, we'll just try to take care of our own and win the game on Wednesday.
In the time you've been here, also as associate head coach, you guys have obviously, I think it's
12, 2 and 15.
Something like that, right? Something good like that?
I think it's that. I don't know exactly.
Is it tougher to win that first one and then kind of second guess yourself about what to do in the second game? Do you change things? Do you just keep the same game plan? Is it almost easier?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It's because you do a lot of analyzing and a lot of second guessing and some things that you want to do different. But I think the way I'm going into it this year is I'm just trying to make my team better, not specifically trying to change how we play against New Mexico State from the first time. I think the biggest thing is for us to go forward, we've got a lot to learn and we got a lot of growing to do. But I just got to try to continue to make them better and get better, and I think we've done that. I think they've made strides.
Do you still consider it a rivalry?
Yeah, it's in state. Yeah, you're always going to have that in-state deal. So I think it's that way in football. I think it's anything we do in any sport. I think it is, because you're in-state schools, 2 Division I schools in the state. So I think that's important.
You've talked quite a bit about your team kind of being one of those bigger point type of teams.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Elijah had a big game, do you expect them to kind of key on him a little bit more?
Yeah, I think I really don't know what they'll do. I've seen them play a couple times, and they've played a lot of zone, a lot of pressing, and sometimes they don't. So I'm sure they're not going to, he'll be hard to stop, but I'm sure they're going to have a little bit more interest in him. I don't think they really realize, like a lot of people didn't realize, that he's more than just a shooter.
What makes Siakam so good?
I just think he's long. I think he's physical. I think he's longer than people think he is. I don't know his exact height, JP, because, we've been playing teams that heights are like 2 inches different. I don't know how people measure anymore. So I don't know his exact height, but he's so long and he's physical. He's got good legs. He plays above the rim. He can make some plays. He's a great offensive rebounder, and he's relentless for the ball, and that's what makes him so hard to play against.
You've obviously, through the scouting you've done, is he a next level talent?
Yeah, I think he'd have a chance. I don't know how long they're going to have him, but he's played at a high level. I think he's, 5th in the country in scoring. I don't know if he is now, but, he's done some good things. You're talking about a kid that was supposed to be a starter as a freshman for Texas A&M, and then he can't get in. And now he's at New Mexico State and done a great job, and Marvin's done a great job with him.
Has he gotten better since last year when he was in a much different role when they had the seniors?
Yeah, I just think they had a different team. I just think, he was one of those guys coming in, really didn't know what they had, and they worked, they done a good job with him. And then, when you have Chili and Mullins and those guys, and it's makes a difference. Those guys are good players. TK was good. Eldridge was good too. So, they just had him in a different role. Now they need him to play a bigger role, and he's done a good job.
How much did that New Mexico State game help you guys for Purdue? I know Purdue was still a loss, but overall you guys kind of you were still in the game against a team with great bigs.
Yeah, I don't know this, Jeff, but I would think with those guys, with Swanigan, Haas, and Hammonds, I don't know if there's too many guys that have that size. Now they got good bigs, but not that big. They're big. They're big humans, and I think it did help us. But I think the only thing that I wish I could see, and we can't. I just wish Devin was available, and I wish JJ was available. But we don't have that. So I think Nick and Joe have done a good job, to be honest with you, and I think they're going to continue to do a good job.
Is it tougher going up against a team like New Mexico State that has struggled on the road the last couple games, and maybe they're a little bit hungrier?
Yeah, and it's also hard playing two times. It's not easy, but we have to do that in conference play. But it's definitely a little bit different than conference play when you're playing a in-state rival twice, and you can throw out how you're playing. JP, you can throw all that out. It's still going to be an intense game, and it doesn't matter how you're playing. It's just going to be close, and I think it'll be a tough game for us. And I think our guys know that.
So do you tell Big Nick that you played a lot against State, played quite a bit against Purdue, that be ready? You're gonna know ahead of time. Or?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
He knows why he didn't play last game, and he knows why he'll play in this game. So I think you have to keep him ready because you don't want him to get discouraged. Some games they're not going to play, and some games he will. So I think he's done a good job. He's still got a long way to go, and we're just glad he's here, and he's definitely improving. It's just that we got to keep pushing him forward a little bit quicker.
At the start of the season, you talked about speaking to a couple of the guys about redshirting. Nobody jumped at that opportunity, and now you have guys coming off the bench to knock down some shots for you. Has it worked out that those guys that you?
Yeah, JP, I don't think it. I think what you do as a coach with the day and age of all the transfers, I think there's 750. I don't know, it's right at 750. I think that players, high school coaches, AAU coaches, people that involved with the prospective student athlete, I think they have a good grasp on it. A lot of kids don't want to do it because then they take a year out of if they want to transfer. and I think that's become the nature of the beast now. So I don't think that's going to happen to any of our guys, but I think it's my responsibility to tell them the truth and say, hey, you can gain a year. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, look what has happened from Tim Williams. Look what has happened to Cullen. Look what has happened to Elijah. I mean, look what happened. Look what it did for Alex Kirk. Look what it did for Drew Gordon. I mean, I did it. So, I mean, I think guys always want that quick fix or that instant oatmeal, which they say, like LeBron said, but they don't really look at the big pictures. I think it's paid off. I think our freshmen have given us some good minutes. I'm trying to get Dane able to play a little more, and hopefully I will. But, Jordan's going to play, and Anthony's played well. So, it's hard to get the minutes when your starters are playing at a high level.
This may be like a meta level question, but is there a way that you can go from being a young team to identify when it's no longer a young team to an experienced team?
To you guys, I'm always going to say we're a young team.
You guys, Saturday was the best attendance so far this season.
Mhm.
Tomorrow night or Wednesday nights already sold more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it noticeable to you that it was a step up and the student section was a little bit better than some?
Yeah, I just think it happens in non-conference games. I really do. I think the tickets are picked up, and we're a unique situation where we don't count them. Most schools count them. We don't. We only count who comes in the door, which is kind of weird to me if they're picked up. So, but there was a difference. I think it just kind of builds. I think we've had that for a while. So, but I think my team's fun to watch. I think they play hard. I think they represent the program. So hopefully that'll happen. But I mean, I've watched a lot of games on TV, and it's kind of happening everywhere. But I think a lot of it is guys TV. I think a lot of it, with every game being televised, every game being streamed, it makes a difference, because it's that era from 28 to 35, 38, that season ticket person.
Cullen had an off shooting night. Any concern there going?
No, I mean, he's had them before. I think the biggest thing, I think he influenced the game. I thought it was his best defensive game he played, and we were able to put him in the back of the zone so he could kind of direct things, and because he knows their offense, and he was able to direct guys. We were able to cover with him in the back, and I think we'll do that more often because he can see things and lets everybody know, because he talks. And, he's going to have games where he doesn't shoot well, either forcing it or, he just doesn't get it going, or, but I thought he did a good job. I don't know. I think last 4 or 5 games, I think his assist turnover has been better than we ever thought it'd be. I mean, he was 5 to 1 the last game, and he's been about that. So I think he's second in the conference in assists. I think he's right. I mean, if he plays like that and he can influence the game that way, that's fine. I mean, he's going to miss shots. We're going to have a lot of guys. I mean, it just hadn't happened to everybody, but I mean, everybody's going to have a bad night.
I know they were good friends since 7th grade AAU kind of days,
Mhm.
Elijah and Cullen, but is there any concern, or are you surprised in any way that they coexist so well together so early? I mean, they are two guards that like the ball.
No, I don't think Elijah likes the ball. I think Elijah likes to score the ball. So I think Elijah knows how to play, and that's what you want. If you've looked over the history of the game, most guys that score all the points are the shooting guards, or the guy that plays. We run plays for and get him coming off screens, or we get him in the fast break. I mean, a lot of his points are we throw it ahead to him, or he's shooting threes in transition, and that helps, and he can get to the line. So I don't think any of them care who scores the points. As long as they keep winning, I don't think it matters. I think they can coexist, because I think people don't understand that, but I think Cullen can really pass the ball, and I don't think people know that. I think people just always have seen him in high school score it. I don't think they realize how good a passer he is, because that's how most people recruited him.
Do you see them feeding off each other a little bit, or maybe
Yeah.
things differently when one's struggling, or?
I think they're smart enough to know. I mean, I think they've known each other long enough to. I think that's one thing I think my team understands. They understand who's going and who's not going. I think that's why we were able to get Tim Williams going in the second half, throwing it to him, and I don't think there's any problem that we've had.
Still, obviously, an early sample size or small sample size, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously, Cullen's a coach's son. Mike or Elijah's a coach's son. Tim Williams, you've talked about with the old man game, just kind of knows how to play the position.
Well, you got to also know that one thing that people don't know about Tim Williams was a big time quarterback. I mean, he's threw for like 2,400 yards in Chicago. So it's like I tell him, how could you play quarterback and you don't talk? But so now he's kind of coming out of that because it's hard coming in. And Drew had this problem with coming in as a transfer. You just don't know where you fit. You don't know how much leadership you should do. You don't. But I think Tim Williams is coming out of his shell a little bit with that.
Is the basketball IQ higher on this team than some of your other ones?
I mean, you watched our teams. I mean, what did you think about compared to last year?
I mean, compared to last year, a lot of.
I mean, I think it's the way you play. I think it's like I told our guys upstairs when we were game planning for Northern Iowa, because I always worry about them because they can spread you out. You have to do something. You got to change it up. You got to give them something they don't know you're going to do. You got to give them something that you keep them off balance. Well, when we played ball screen with Alex and Cam, when we played UMass and we came back, we played UAB, we played some good teams. Those guys could do their own pick and roll coverage and switch so that Cam was the one always guarding the ball screen, so Alex didn't have to go out and he stayed in the rim. So it depends on the team you have. That team, I could do a lot of different things. This team, I can still do that. Last year's team, no. This year's team, I can do a lot of things just because I think Jordan Hunter really knows how to play. I know Cullen knows this program since he's been here since he's 11. I think he knows everything we do. I think Elijah's really good basketball-wise. I think he's getting better. I think he's still – Tim Williams is – N.O.'s getting better, and I think Joe's getting better. So I think those guys, we got enough guys that we can go on the – make some adjustments and tweak it more than we could 12 months ago and very similar to the 27-17
Very few
with
kind
camp.
of deer in the headlight moments this season so far, right?
No.
Where they just didn't seem to know what they were doing
No.
this year. You remember some of those? I don't want to
Yeah.
on it, but
Yeah, there was a lot of those. But, I mean, you look at it, Jeff, we were 14-7. We were at the time we were 14-7, had a chance to tie for the lead at Wyoming and had the, then I just never could get them over that confidence thing. They just kind of lost their confidence. And no matter how hard, and to be honest with you, and I kind of talked about it a couple times, they're playing against Tim Williams, Cullen, and Elijah Brown every day. It's not to try to get your confidence back. So that was part of it. But I'm just glad I keep telling you guys because I want everybody to know that I like these guys. I think they play the right way. I think they care about how to play, and I think they play extremely hard. I think they're one of the harder teams we've had that play. They play hard. No, I just think he never had to do it. I think he could do it in high school. I just think that they needed him to score a lot of points, and it was not easy for him, but I think he was able to. And I think Bryce was in the same mode. I think people didn't realize how good of playmakers they are, and that goes into they're not point guards, but I differ. I think they both can play that position because they can really pass, and I think the reason why they can really pass and see the floor is because they know it. They don't – like Cullen, I can put him out there in our offense, and he can run every spot and every play. Well, that makes a big difference when you're driving and knowing where guys are. It makes a big – yeah, I think it's just in high school they just played. And here it's a little different thing. But I think one thing he can do is with his size and similar to what I was able to do, you have you're seeing over everybody makes a big difference.